Ahoy sailors, and welcome back to the NXT Back to the Future podcast. My name is David Simmons, and I am joined as ever by the man who, well, he's helped me move house. What a nice guy. It's Mr. Adam Howells. Say moved house, I just needed you there for moral support, really.
I think you did actually, because you made out it was like, oh, Adam, I'm going to need loads of help today. And then
well, I thought we sort of would, and then we didn't, but it was...
But you had like a moving crew. So you had like them with like a van, like a...
The space,
3.5 ton lorry that had all your stuff in, and they were moving stuff, and I came over and I was like,
well, I
what am I supposed to do?
Well, I tell you what, if Mark Henry was going to do a challenge moving lorries, he wouldn't have been able to move that bastard, would he?
I think he would have actually. He's a pretty strong guy.
He's apparently the world's strongest man.
Mate, Strowman would have tipped it over for you.
It's 3.5 tons. An ambulance is about his
wheelhouse.
His wheelhouse, yeah. He's quite good at tipping over ambulances. It's like me, good at tipping over cups.
Yeah. As of recording, we're recording on an Easter Sunday. A Sunday where Sonia has invited 8 of her closest family round for a Sunday dip. Like,
you're brave talking about that when she's downstairs.
Yes, I will do. She's invited 8 of her family round.
That's it.
Do we have anything in? No, we don't. Did we think shops would be open? Yes. Does it look like they will be? Possibly not. And she's currently shitting herself.
I think my favourite thing was Adam going, oh no, seems like Asden and Eaton's open. It's probably about an hour away.
It's not an hour away. Fucking in what world is it an hour away from here? It's probably about 20 minutes, at most. But if it's open, I'm going to be going out. And I didn't want to be doing shopping today.
Go to Asda Woolsgrave, mate.
I do want to go Asda Woolsgrave. She tells me that Aston and Eton is closer, and it fucking isn't, because it's a ball ache to get in. If you live in the West Midlands area, you'll know what a fucking nightmare Nuneaton is to get round. Like, that town is fucking awful.
Shite in general.
And Sonia continually tells me, oh, the Nuneaton one's closer. It's not. It's not. The Woolsgrave one's easier to get to.
It is.
So can we just fucking settle that debate?
Bit of time to say. Well, speaking of settling debates, let's actually got some debates to settle in this episode.
Let's crack on so I can do some shopping. Going. I need to remember what's gone on in this one, because it's been so long since I've watched this.
Wow.
I've got my notes, so it's going to be a surprise for me as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going all the way back to August the 28th, 2014. It's summer, Adam. The weather is delightful. We're young, free and easy. And probably about, 7-8 years ago? How old did you have been at that? 23, Adam.
Fuck off.
You'd have been living life. 23 years old.
Just thought I've turned 30 since this.
Yeah, you have.
I have.
Adam is old. Adam is old. It's episode 113, again, emanating from Full Sail University. We open with credits and the Ascension face off against 2 men, who of course swiftly take a battering.
It's labelled as a match involving the Ascension, so I just immediately assume they were facing Chris Benoit.
It's a good assumption to make. Weirdly, it's not like we even get any background on these guys. They literally sort of just appear and get beaten. Yeah, it's very odd.
I think they've probably just been like, we don't need to name these guys, because they, like, the Ascension just batter everyone.
Yeah, there's some odd commentary here as well, as Alex compares the Ascension to the Shield.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Probably not a fair comparison.
As well as finding it impressive that we need to have a number 1 contendership tournament. I mean, that's not impressive. Indy Hartwell is impressive, mate, but this is not.
Exactly.
It's just well needed, isn't it? I mean, if you've beaten everyone once, it's strange. But oh well. A quick victory, and they say next week, new number 1 contenders, but are they just victims? They will rise.
They will definitely rise. It's they're just great. I've actually liked this run of squash matches. And it's nice to see them do hopefully something a bit more with the next opponents they get.
You need to check out the Legion of Doom. You would love the Legion of Doom.
I probably would.
Do you know what? It made me laugh the other day. I texted you, didn't I? Some guy called on Reddit called Marty Skrull and Travis Banks, the Legion of Groom.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I feel like that was set up so you could sneak that little reference.
It wasn't, but it just makes me laugh. I really like it. It's just funny, isn't it?
It's not Marty Skrull. Who's it? Travis Banks. Is he still wrestling?
They both still wrestle. Marty Skrull's moved to Puerto Rico and gets booked in Puerto Rico all the time. And Travis Banks wrestles in Mexico under a mask.
Well, he has to, so he doesn't get recognised, so people don't...
Well, he does get recognised. Recently, Bandido, who's quite a famous wrestler, Bandido booked him on his show, And everyone went mental at him, and he had to come out and apologise.
What, and stop him being booked?
I think he wrestled, and then when he wrestled, everyone fucking started booing, and it got online, and everyone went mad. But yeah, I'd never want to see him wrestle again. I hated him anyway, but obviously I hate him a lot more now.
Justice for Millie, mate. Justice for Millie.
Mate, what a joke. Just shite.
Coventry's own.
We get a new general manager, and it's the music of former WWE European Champion and King of the Ring, and all-round grappling legend, William Regal.
It was quite funny because, like, a few weeks ago when I watched this, it was the same week that he left NXT. That he basically got released NXT, so our timelines are a bit skewed at the moment, but also we're in a timeline when the talent is back on NXT in real life.
Yes.
And you questioned what year it was, and I said, it's 2014, mate, she's back.
It's, yeah, I know. Well, we've got a long time till we get to that point.
Yeah, Regal as general manager. This is going to be one of the longest tenured general managers of all time.
In any company ever.
Ever. He's here to stay.
He's back.
He's here for quite a few years on our podcast.
Regal says he's been fortunate enough to be here since the beginning, and he announces a September the 11th Takeover event. He asks Neville to come out and hear who he will face for the NXT Championship. Neville says that he's proud of him, but he's not just here for niceties, he needs to know who's next. Tyson Kidd interrupts and says he's honoured to be named the number one contender.
Just makes the assumption that he's going to be named it.
It's always good. Before Tyler Breeze interrupts and says, "You're an all go, mate," before saying everyone deserves a shot over Tyson, including Natalya. Sami Zayn is fourth out in a fantastic Rancid shirt and says he is more deserving than both of them. Neville says he wants to face Tyson Kidd, who goes absolutely ballistic. But then he says he also wants to face Tyler Breeze and Sami Zayn. He says he will face all of them at the same time and asks Regal to make the match. Regal says he wasn't thinking exactly of that, but he does make the match, and it's a mega fatal four-way with championship stakes. A huge, huge match for the next NXT TakeOver. Alex says it's a stupid decision, but in 2 weeks, which is our next episode, it's on in a fatal four-way match. I'm very excited.
This match, I've seen this once before, but it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I think it was when I started watching wrestling, you were like, you need to watch this match.
Oh, so I really like this match. Again, I haven't watched it in a long time as well.
So this match is going to bang.
It's going to be very good.
Yeah, can't wait to see it. We do get the words of the Ultimate Warrior playing in the background afterwards, advertising WWE Legends.
Yes.
And telling us that the network is only $9.99.
I mean, you know, he's probably got that on his tombstone.
Yeah. Along with Fuck Cancer Kids.
And, yeah.
Of all the other stuff that he's done.
Lots of other things.
I mean, we can't, like...
Horrible man.
Horrible, horrible human.
Let's hope he's burning quite nicely.
I'm sure he is.
Down there.
If such place exists, he's definitely there.
Let's hope he's burning away quite nicely. Backstage, Regal discusses the TakeOver main event, but books a blockbuster main event tag team match, with Kidd and Breeze facing off against Zayn and Neville. That'll be good fun.
Mm-hmm. Get all the main protagonists in the ring together.
Oh, of course.
The faces and the heels.
I feel like we've seen this match an awful lot, but I don't know.
Until you get bored of it. It's still good, you know. When you get good matches, it's, you know, you just want to see them week after week.
They don't tend to do it all in one. They don't tend to do it every week as well, which I think helps. They sort of do it every sort of month, and I feel like this is them admitting that these are the 4 top guys. Yeah. Having them in a fatal four-way, you're not leaving anyone out either. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is definitely a rung or two below these 4.
What I did want to say as well, that I've got in my notes, is when Neville comes out to congratulate Regal, it's probably the most Geordie I've ever heard him on the podcast as well.
He is very Geordie.
He's very Geordie.
Very Geordie
I
indeed.
am currently wearing my Sunday best.
That's right, Adam's naked sat in front of me.
Yeah.
The boss is out next. She's facing Bayley, who has the Bayley buddies out in force, and she gifts her headband to a small fan at ringside when she eventually finds her.
Yeah.
I think normally what they do is they tend to plant them in a certain location, and she goes there and all she sees is little boys, and she's like, and then she turns around and quickly finds a girl to get the headband.
Wait, you're telling me that's all planted?
It's all planted, of course it is.
I'm disappointed by that.
Mate, I'm sorry to break the illusion. The bell rings and Sasha lays in a massive slap. Bayley backs her up with shoulder barges into the corner. Sasha is really aggressive here, and her style does continue to ramp up in terms of aggression and just all-round being good. She's definitely evolving quite nicely.
Yeah, she's taking more control and she slows down the match well. Subtle kicks, cockiness rather than just like leg scissors. Like, she's just trying to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, this is why these matches, even though it seems like they face each other every other week because they haven't got a depth in this division at the moment.
You can tell this is, like, they're getting better because we do see the same repeated matches. You can actually tell that people are improving.
Yeah.
Bayley wraps up the win in quick style, though, annoyingly, with a counter into the Bayley to belly. Still surprising to see the women getting a big lack of time here. Even though this was quite good, and I don't think either of us disliked it, it was still maybe 4 minutes, and I don't know, I'm sort of over, just good women especially getting 4 minutes on TV. Although everyone seems to be getting 4 minutes on TV leading into Takeover. I think they're trying to get people onto the show.
This is like, it's what they do next week. They just want to get everyone on and try and be like, just...
Yeah.
It seems a bit too bit party for me.
Yeah.
Like, I remember ages ago we had the Beat the Clock challenge, and like, even though you had short matches, there was like a continued storyline in there.
Yeah.
So you sort of were able to sort of keep track with everything, whereas this, you're trying to think, what the fuck's going on? I don't think they needed to do it.
No, agreed.
But I mean, it's fine. The women will get longer matches eventually on this podcast, and it has developed nicely. Like the timeline we've watched so far, in what they've been able to do with them. I think they're just they're a bit of a dodgy position at the moment because they only really have. They've got Charlotte as pretty much like your champ and your main eventer.
Yeah.
And apart from Bayley, they don't really have anyone else of that level. I mean,
not as a face.
No.
Not as a face.
Obviously, Bayley's very good, but if you didn't have Bayley there, like, who are you going to have in that position?
No, precisely. Like, Alexa's probably your next big person.
Yeah, but she's not even
and she's
ready.
Nowhere near.
No, she's not ready.
Near. I need to apologise to you.
Oh, God, why?
In advance. Because I couldn't... well, I suppose I could.
Is Paul Dempsey not the last of a dying breed?
No. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But actually, I feel like I do need to apologise because I'm pretty sure we agreed to limit it to 3 snippets, as it were.
Oh, how many were you done?
Well, I did all 3 of them say, or all 3, all 4, maybe all 4 of them in the second episode, but we won't do that, as I feel like that's a bit naughty. But I had to put this promo in, which is Bayley, and then being interrupted by Charlotte.
That's absolutely fine.
Let's put that in.
Look at the tears in your eyes. This is a huge responsibility. Being the NXT Women's Champion is an honor, and you shut up when I'm talking. I'll say it again. Bayley, you are too nice. If I saw a cat or a kitten in a tree, I'd knock it out and say, oops, life's tough. Welcome to reality. I am telling you now to give up before you embarrass yourself. Be quiet!
Charlotte, you are not taking...
Are you gonna let Bayley talk?
Charlotte, I'm over here. You are obviously not taking me as a threat. I'm coming after you for that championship, and I'm gonna win.
Bayley, stick to hugs before I destroy you.
I'm not going anywhere, Charlotte, and I don't even want a hug. I just want to wish you good luck.
And this was excellent because it was really good fire from Charlotte, and Bayley's starting to edge into the fact Charlotte won't take her too seriously, and they're actually doing a really nice job of building this match up. It was all around really, really good. Massive, massive step up for Charlotte this week as well. In terms of her promo work, you know, telling Bayley, look, you're just not cut out to be a champion, and that's why you're not going to win at TakeOver.
She does throw in the whole, it's in my blood and all that, and you expect her to do that, because it's a dickish heel thing to do.
Exactly, but I
it's
really
true
liked
as
this.
well, but it's like, I did like it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was far, far better. And she seemed a lot more purposeful than the rest of her promos. This was like a modern day Charlotte promo.
Yeah.
And actually, she's a good talker.
Yeah.
And actually, I feel like that was really good. Now, mate. Bull! 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 Bull!
Shit.
Bull! What a legend. Mate, the NXT steamroller himself is here. Bull Dempsey's ready for action. He's assaulted Santa when he was 8 years old because he'd mistaken him for a grown-up man, and he's here to face Angelo Dawkins.
And when he's done with Mojo, he won't need a doctor, he'll need a priest.
Exactly.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Can people just put the pieces together for me?
Dempsey cuts a promo on the side of the screen as Dawkins makes his entrance, and he says that Mojo is all hype. Dempsey dominates. They discuss how good Dawkins is on commentary, but that's not doing him any favours here. Bulldozer for the 3, Dawkins is out cold. I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah, it's what it needed to be. I mean, Alex Riley was about to do the whole 5-point play thing again, and then the match ended. So that's the saving grace.
The 5 tool player thing happens all the time, doesn't it?
It's the only thing that Alex Riley has got in his arsenal and commentary. That's his own thing.
It is,
but he's used it too many times now.
The 5 tool player. Some French is spoken by the Legionnaires backstage as Marcus Louis accepts the hair versus hair match against Enzo.
No, it's an air v air match.
Although not entirely happy as his partner.
Yeah, he's not really. Marcus Louis, who probably has one of the worst fake French accents I've ever heard in my life.
Sylvester Laforte's not happy about this being accepted, but Marcus Louis is quite confident that it will beat Enzo.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it is what it is. I suppose we'll see when we get closer to TakeOver, but at the moment, Sylvester is currently winning because he's obviously shaved a bit of Enzo's beard off, hasn't he?
I feel like next week it's going to be a bit of a turning point.
Yes, a big turning point. I think, and I'm really excited about that because we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But heels first, then faces, and off we go in this tag team main event. Breeze and Neville represent their teams first as quick tags happen back and forth. Neville is propelled into Breeze by Zayn from a standing position with many spins. The crowd goes wild as Neville celebrates. Neville does get isolated and gets a massive head kick on the apron and another super kick by Breeze and a 2 as we go into commercial. What did you think of the action in this match?
It's what you expect from these 4. They're both really, really good wrestlers. Like, what else can you say?
I mean, yeah.
They're just excellent, and to be honest, my notes aren't brilliant in this match because I spend most of the time just watching them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what you want. If you're watching the run-up to this along with us, and I realise you probably would have taken a big stall in that, because we have obviously had the last few weeks where it's been a bit... That's not the dog, is it? Oh, for God's sake. Otis is yet making another appearance on this podcast.
Hello.
Currently recording in my back bedroom, and he's been literally sat there, and Dave has just heard him sniffing through the door, hence why he's decided to let him in.
Otis, out. Hey,
no, get out. Get out.
No.
He's going to hate you now because you've shut the door on him. No one puts Otis in the corner. Yeah, it's really good because Sammy and Neville really work well as a team on Tyler, and then Tyson comes in and receives the corkscrew off the back of Sammy's back by Neville. Like, they are just meant to sort of work together really well because they're faces, and yet you can see like the bickering between Neville and... Sorry, not Neville. Tyler and Tyson.
Neville's just one of those people as well who's good in every situation. He is.
He's the best all-rounder.
He is. He's got so much offense that he can do from anywhere. He can do really impressive things from a standing position all the way up to the top rope, and I feel like that makes it so much easier to
book him in anything as well.
Yeah.
He's so versatile.
Yeah, he is. He's versatile, but he's also good at being able to just wow the crowd. I think you can book him against someone who's quite boring, and he'll be able to do something without sort of someone being a plant for him that will excite the crowd. And that's obviously why he's so good. He's able to face people like your Rusevs and that, whereas I don't think most people would find it difficult to face a guy of that style. It's like on SmackDown where they've had Ricochet defend the title against Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal was doing a headlock 30 seconds into the match, but Ricochet's got enough impressive offense from everywhere that he's able to do something to get the crowd into it.
Yeah. I think it's difficult for Ricochet at the moment because he's the only guy who seems to have that sort of style. So he's heavily reliant on...
Apart from the two teams... the two sexy Mexicans.
Yeah, but, he's knocked them off anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Sexy and he's knocked them off. Alright, Adam. Breeze tags in. Neville is pulled back by Breeze, who takes control of him and scores multiple 2 counts. Zayn finally comes in and fires off on both men with a stunning double crossbody. Michinoku driver on Kid for a 2. Love Michinoku driver.
It's a great move, isn't it?
It is. Can you say it?
Michinoku driver.
Oh, yes. There he goes.
I've obviously spent my time off
wisely
honing in on my Japanese.
Honing the skills. Kid counter with a spinning leg sweep for a 2, and in comes Breeze, who gets an exploder suplex into the corner from Zayn. Springboard into the ring by Neville, and a standing shooting star press for a 2. Zayn is cleared and the heels are left 2-on-1. It's down to 1-on-1 as Kid is cleared from the ring, and Zayn accidentally hits Neville with the haluva kick. Zayn is stunned and apologises. Blue Thunder Bomb by Zayn as Kid throws him out and covers Neville for the win. And Kid celebrates but takes a haluva kick from Zayn. They question whether Zayn has ever done something like that after a match. His frustration sort of boils over.
I feel like he's just had enough of being in the background. He finally wants to be the main man.
Yeah, he's starting to lose that patience, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's all for the title, though, Adam. What are your thoughts on the first week?
First week has been fantastic. I think it's done enough to sort of get you interested in this run up. We've set up matches. We've had Regal debut.
And it's also
great debut.
It's done a really good job of keeping all 4 of these guys on the show.
And relevant as well.
Yeah, because what they do is they have them in a tag team match this week, and then everyone's in singles action on this episode coming.
A lot of singles matches.
I know it's a lot of singles matches, but at the same time, it does put them all on TV.
Yeah, true. There's not even a lot to talk about in the singles matches.
No, they're all relatively short.
Honestly, none of them are longer than possibly 3 or 4 minutes.
And that's the problem in this episode. There's 6 matches and everything's very short.
You can't really talk about them, can you? Because they all go the same style.
Yeah. We'll have to find something else to talk about. Yeah. September the 4th, 2014.
We love a good tangent.
Back to school. Episode 114, Full Sail University. Charlotte v Alexa takes place after the credits. Alexa actually puts up a really good fight, but obviously bow down to the Queen. 3 ends it. This is where I look. Bayley appears and then just fell asleep. Bayley appears. Oh, no. Fell asleep here, as you can see in my notes, Adam. Don't really remember this match, but apparently I liked it.
You did. I'll tell you what, Alexa does a great Hurricane Rana.
She has improved a lot.
Massively.
When we say she's improved a lot, that doesn't take back what we said last episode and the fact she's nowhere near ready.
Yeah.
But she has improved a lot. She actually makes a mean face this week.
Yeah, she also does a great sunset flip into a cover as well. Which is,
Must be that 18 years of gymnast experience that they keep banging on about.
It must be. Gymnastics, cheerleading, they're all the same thing.
You're not wrong.
No.
Why should anyone believe that Tyler Breeze is going to be the new NXT champion? I think it's fairly simple. Look at Sami Zayn. How well did he do at Takeover? Not very well. Look at Adrian Neville. Look at Tyson Kidd. Do they look like this? No, they don't. They're not Prince Pretty. They're not the king of Cuteville. They're not the definition of delish. They are not the most super good-looking piece of gorgeousness that you are ever going to see. And you want to sit here and ask me why you should believe that I'm going to win? Let me think about it. Maybe because I'm better looking than every single person in every single room that I've ever walked into in my entire life. Maybe that's why. Or maybe it's the fact that every time I step in the ring, I get the job done. Maybe that's one for you. Take your pick.
And I'm sorry again. Breeze faces Ty Dillinger next as the Lucha Dragons talk about the finals tonight. Sin Cara speaks Spanish and Kalisto translates, saying they've only just formed a team a short time ago, but they believe they can beat any team in NXT. And even though the Ascension are a strong team, they are also a strong tag team and they have the ability to win. Hilariously, Devon says thank you to them both, and after only speaking Spanish, Sin Cara says thank you in perfect English, and Kalisto looks confused.
Oh, it's great. I don't know whether you've missed this on purpose, Dave, but they sort of do a bit of a... Before that Kalisto and Sin Cara promo, they have an announcement for Takeover.
Yes.
A debuting international star.
Yes. I didn't miss it on purpose, but I've got it later on.
Okay.
They do like a longer advert for it.
Okay, fair enough.
But it is exciting news.
It's a bit of a shame they did it as like a bit of a, oh, by the way, we've got him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and then they suddenly they've almost realised, oh shit, we've not done it enough.
Yeah, it's odd. I literally was like, I thought it would have been a bigger deal, because I remember it being a bigger deal, obviously, at the time. So it's a bit strange. Dillinger is out for action, followed by Breeze. Dillinger is very aggressive, although the match is short. Dillinger does make the most of his limited TV time, and that's another thing I have to say about Dillinger. He does always do that. Breeze gets... Well, the good thing about this match is Dillinger makes the most of limited TV time, and Breeze manages to get his finisher over as an RKO-styled finisher from out of nowhere, and both men gain something from this. And I have to say, it doesn't get much more sensible than that from a 4-minute match.
After all this time on the podcast, we finally get the Battle of the Ties. I'll see myself out.
Please leave, sir.
Yeah.
Both men do look really sharp here as Dillinger lands a huge chop. He raises the pace, but the beauty shot out of nowhere for a 3.
Apparently, Ty Dillinger played semi-professional hockey in Canada, but who hasn't?
Well, mate, The Rock moved to Canada. He was in the CFL.
He was.
And now he's going to redo the XFL because he wants to give people who have failed American football players a chance to be successful American football players in a lesser league. And I mean, respect for that.
Yeah. I mean, will there be a progression? Can you go to the XFL and then suddenly get in?
Well, you should be able to, yeah.
If they're good enough, obviously. If they stand out.
Yeah, well, of course you will. Why wouldn't they?
And, you know, Americans are hungry for sport. And if they're faced... I think their season is going to be...
It's going to be the opposite to the NFL season. So, yeah.
Because the NFL season is incredibly short. It's like a 6-month season.
Yeah, it's not as long as like the Premier League, is it? Or anything like that.
Premier League has a lot of matches, though. And also, it's a lot more enjoyable to watch than American football.
Well, of course. And also, as well, let's not forget, there's only one break in football.
Yeah, it's that as well. Well, there's a few more with VAR, but I'm sure you'll fucking boil your piss with all of that.
Absolute bloody joke.
How do you feel, as an Arsenal fan, I know we're going a little bit off topic here, but we have a little bit of time because, you know, short matches. Are you doing that with my foot?
This little piggy went to market.
Fuck off. It's because I've got my feet stretched, my legs stretched out, just so I keep the circulation in my feet. How do you feel as an Arsenal fan that literally everyone going for the top 4 is almost like, after you?
We had a really good run, but we almost had a good run at the wrong time. We sort of had it from like the sort of 18th, 19th game to like the 30th game. And really, we probably needed it from like the 25th game to the last game, if that makes sense.
It's always awkward because like you say about these run of games, everyone still has to play 38 games and everyone still has to play against each other twice.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, momentum has a massive factor into it. Like,
you are right.
We're now going to head into...
We've got the toughest stretch of games out of the last amount of games as well. Like, had we have had...
Points in the bank.
Well, next...
And games in hand.
I think between now and the end of the season, bear in mind, we've only got 7 games to play. We've got to play West Ham away.
That's a tough game.
Chelsea away.
Tough.
Man United at home. And Spurs away.
Basically, it's almost in your own hands.
if we win them all, then we'll
exactly.
be all right. But
exactly.
It's very unlikely that we'll win them all,
no.
based on previous history. And the other thing is as well, I think what is a pain is that we ended up doing this big squad clear out, and then Arteta wanted to have a 20-man squad. Number one, to save money, so we can spend more money this summer, and number two, because we didn't have Europe.
You say that, but also you say about like saving money and stuff. You still went and spent a lot of money in the summer.
No. But you save money on wages. If we're going to have like 5 players,
well, yeah, you did by getting Ober out, because you saved like £30 million a year. Just something stupid.
That's
like
what I mean. If we'd have had 25 players, we'd have probably we'd have ended up saving, I don't know, maybe 400-500 grand a week. So that's 2 million. So that's £25 million roughly over the year saved by not having a 25-man squad, because we didn't need it.
Yeah.
And actually, like, the issue is 3 of our probably best players are injured, and now we've only got young players to replace them, and those young players are out of form, and that's the tricky thing, and that's the problem with young players, isn't it? And young people in general. You can't put young people in high pressure situations, because the majority of the time they will always make mistakes, and that's you have to accept that when you do that. It's like if Newcastle played a young player and they make a mistake and it costs you the game, that will improve that young player, but in that moment it seems like the worst thing in the world. I mean, obviously it's not the worst thing in the world. No. And it's like wrestling as well. There's not too many people who are on TV in big capacity, who are young people, because they have to learn, they have to develop, and it's tricky. That's the thing. People say, like, this is our best chance to get top 4. Like, I wouldn't agree with that, because we could sign 5 players in the summer, and then every player that we've had this season, especially a lot of the young ones, will all be better next season. So surely we'll have a better chance of getting in the top 4 next season, because everyone will be improved, and everything will be, we'll have more depth and all this stuff. Like, that's what I don't like about it. There's big overreaction at the moment. Everyone's saying he needs to get sacked as we lost 3 games.
Like, he doesn't need to get sacked. You need to build. And I think, like, teams...
It's a big thing. It's like Newcastle, isn't it? Newcastle at the moment are,
we're building slowly.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I mean. They've said, like...
The issue we're going to have this summer is that...
every team's going to want more money from you. But that's the thing you've got to face. Man City's the same.
Yeah, Man City's like that. But the biggest issue we've got is that when we did our transfers in January, we spent a lot of money, but we had to leave 3 people out of our 25-man squad.
Precisely.
So now we already have to get rid of players.
Yeah,
and we've got players that are wanted, and we obviously need to be conscious of financial fair play. And I think one person who, and people might be surprised that I'll say this, the one person we need to sell this summer for decent money is Alan St-Maximin.
Yeah, but you don't need players like that.
You don't need him because he's too much of a liability. If anyone, everyone would be like, he's your best player. Like, honestly, I've watched more Newcastle than I can than most people would, being a fan. Like, and I can tell you for a fact that literally you watch the game and 95% of the time he's a fucking liability.
Oh, he's fanning around, yeah.
Like, he will throw if he gets the ball taken off him, he'll throw himself on the floor, and then we get hit on a counter attack, and there's always gaps because he's never there tracking back. And we really, the one thing that Newcastle fans will not put up with, and it's like most football fans, is people who don't work hard for the team. And those typical flair players who they might win you some points here or there, they'll cost you more than they'll win.
I mean, basically, yeah, that sums it up, doesn't it?
It pretty much sums it up. So if we can get 50 million quid for him, I'm pretty sure he'll go. I'm pretty sure he'll go to someone like Villa, actually. I feel like Gerrard would want him. But there we go.
Yeah, he's not.
There's our brief intermission, from wrestling, because we are now at 29 minutes, and we've still got...
It's a really short episode this week.
It's a really short episode.
Do you know what? You're in a hurry, though, that's why. But what I will say, Adam...
It's not even that. It's just because there's, there's not a lot to talk about in the content in the matches because it's so snappy. Each match.
No, absolutely.
You can't really make up too much.
Yeah.
In a 4-minute match.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about.
It's not our fault. No one's developed. No one's really done anything. It's just the wind up to Takeover.
It is. Yeah, it is. There's actually a Takeover preview show next week, but we'll bin that off.
We're not going to. We're just going to go straight to Takeover because we will have seen all of it anyway.
Yeah.
NXT TakeOver is a fatal 4-way for the NXT Championship. There's 4 individuals. One individual is the greatest high flyer in the history of this industry, something that he developed while competing in the UK. One individual in this match has the most heart and is a great innovator in that ring, something that he honed while in Japan. One individual in this match, some say is arrogant, self-absorbed, cocky, but he looks like $1 million and he can get away with it. One individual in this match is hungry, determined, cold, callous, ruthless, and is probably the most dangerous human walking the planet, something that he learned while in the dungeon. And then there's Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, and Tyler Breeze. They're in the match too. That's how I feel about my opponents at TakeOver.
This was particularly great, and I'll tell you why it was particularly great.
I really liked it.
What it does is your Nevilles and your Zaynes, everyone knows they're well-travelled wrestlers. Breeze, maybe not so much. He sort of came from the independents. And, well, they came from the independents, but they're like well-travelled wrestlers, and everyone sort of knows those two. Whereas Kid actually is also a well-travelled wrestler, but you wouldn't know it because he's almost been in WWE so long.
People forget.
And actually, I really liked how he sort of just said all of those things into the, that's all me. And he sort of said, he took bits of the other 3. And
I did like it.
That's me, that's me, that's me. And he is... When it explained like that, the most dangerous person in this match, and actually I really, really thought it was very clever, well done promo.
Yeah, he's become a really great heel.
He has become a really great heel. See, at first you were a bit I think
as you said, I'd only seen him as a face, so when he started to turn, and it was like a really slow turn, it weren't just like, I'm just going to fucking attack someone from behind and suddenly I'm a heel now, guys. It's been a slow development, and that's what's been really good.
But that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
That's good.
Don't deny that.
Guten Tag.
We do have him. No, we don't have him versus Adam Rose. Next we have the Enzo and Cass promo.
Now, we do get an advert for NXT TakeOver next week here as well, with the debut for Japanese wrestling legend Kenta.
Yes, Kenta is here.
How exciting.
How soon is it before they rename him?
He gets renamed as he debuts.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
So, yeah, they change his name as soon as he debuts. But, it's very exciting. This is a massive signing.
Huge signing at the time.
This was a massive signing. Yeah, at the time, it was gigantic, because Kenta was probably... what year was that? 2014. Kenta was probably close to the best wrestler in the world.
Really?
He'd had a couple of injuries. He'd had a couple of injuries, and sort of, I don't know, his time had waned in Japan. But he was probably coming off, I would say 6 or 7 years of some of the best work that anyone had done since the turn of the millennium. So, yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah,
it was a big deal, and they managed to attract him. But he was in Noah at the time, and Noah was sort of like this was when New Japan was on the rise, and Noah was declining, and Noah had lost its stars, or was starting to lose its stars. It was starting to lose.
So he sort of like jumped off the ship before it sank.
Sort of thing. I think it had just gotten to a point where he'd sort of done everything he was going to do in Japan, and did need a change of pace. And just so happens this offered him a really good change of pace. It offered him sort of a way out.
Just as NXT is on the rise at this point as well.
Yeah, exactly. It goes to show WWE could could flex their muscles financially as well and bring people in. It was almost the same.
They can still do that now. I mean, people moan about it all the time, but they can pretty much, if they want someone, they'll sign him. I mean, look at Cody signing back with WWE.
Do you know what? That could be a massive turning point as well. Like MJF continually is saying at the moment, whether it's bravado or whether it's not, but he's like, my deal's up in 2024 and I intend to be as big as possible by 2024 and I'm going to let them both offer me money. And then whoever offers me the most money, I'll go. He said, I've got no loyalty to anywhere.
I think that's how you have to be.
And do you know what though? That's the WCW WWF thing. But yeah, actually, I kind of feel like the whole AEW WWE thing is going to turn into like a WCW thing. There's going to be a lot of people going back and forth, I reckon.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, everyone's going to AEW, but of course they are, because AEW is giving out big contracts and, supposedly is quite a nice place to work. But, WWE can give out bigger anyone who proves himself in AEW to be a big star, WWE will offer them more money.
Yeah.
And let's face it, if you want to have a legacy in wrestling, if you're gonna go down as a name in wrestling, you're not gonna do it in AEW. You've got to do it in WWE.
And AEW are in the position at the moment, they have to offer these big contracts because they have to convince people to come to them.
Yeah, of course.
So they're having to spend the money, whereas WWE are quite happy to sit and bide their time, save their money for the people they really want to get in.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
look at what they've done.
That's why they've released a load of people. They freed up a load of money. They've mate. This is exactly the sort of thing with.
They've done this before and they know the game.
Exactly.
And
this
it's
is
all
the
about
sort of
the
thing
game
with
and how you play it.
The thing is with WWE, like you look at these people and you look at people who've gone to AEW and have had sort of a decent run and done good things. Like for example, Yumiro, aka Rusev, he's gone to AEW. He's done a few good things. He's had a sort of decent run as TV champion. He's done XYZ. WWE have had Rusev for 8 years.
Yeah.
And he's never been a top draw world champion main eventer.
No.
So why keep him?
I mean,
That's
I think in his WWE time, he only had one match, didn't he?
What do you mean?
As in, not one world title match.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
I think it was against AJ Styles, and that was the whole thing that set off the whole breakup of Rusev Day.
But they clearly, like, if they were going to have him as a world champion, he'd have been a world champion. There's like, that's the thing with all these people that they've released. Like Swerve, for example, going into AEW and everyone's being like, "Oh, Swerve's great." Yeah, he is great, and he's a good wrestler, but he's not a world champion. WWE are not interested, with all the best intention in the world, in having a roster full of really good wrestlers, because they've had a roster of really good wrestlers, and none of them have made any money.
No.
Like,
I mean, at one point,
they have a load of takeovers that bang, and everyone has amazing matches. But those people don't headline 70, 80,000 seater arenas. And that's what WWE want. That's what WWE needs.
That's what they're in the business of doing. And this NXT roster at one point is probably
the best wrestling roster in the world.
Yeah, men's, women's, tag teams, everything. They have one of the best rosters. I can't... It'll be difficult to point out in the timeline where. Probably 2017, 18.
Yeah. But you look at a lot of these people, on those pay-per-views or on those takeovers where people were getting, big reactions. They were never able to go to the next level. The people that were able to go to the next level from those takeovers are Bianca.
Yeah.
Bianca went to the next level. It's like Ricochet's a fantastic wrestler, and I'll be the first person to tell you, I've watched the bloke for years, since he was a super skinny guy before he clearly did steroids at Dragon Gate. I'm saying nothing, but when he was a big skinny, like a big tall lanky skinny guy doing high flying moves in PWG in front of 50 people, and Shikara, he's a fantastic wrestler, but he doesn't connect with the fans. That's the thing that's like, since Cody's come back, Cody has connected with the fans massively.
Yeah.
And Cody's come back, and you can say with the greatest intention in the world, oh, well, you know, he was never a draw in AEW. He's never been an AEW wrestler. He's always wanted to be a world champion, and he's wanted to carry on his dad's legacy. And the only way he's going to do that is not by winning the AEW title, it's not by being an AEW TV champion, not by being a Ring of Honor champion. He wants to win the WWE title. That's, if he retires tomorrow, doesn't win it, he would have felt like he's wasted his career. That's why he's had to go back.
Yeah.
He's had to go back because he feels like he has to win the WWE title.
He's the biggest draw.
And anyone...
I say he's the biggest draw. Like, he will be a big draw because of, obviously, going to AEW, but also the fact that actually he's loved by the fans for what he's done for wrestling.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like you showed me the entrance the other night for his first match on Raw in years, for The Miz. Like, the amount of signs, like, the music, the presence. His music is brilliant. I love his theme music. And the presentation has been was good.
And that's the thing. There's only really
a few people who have that good.
But he's had to. That's the thing. WWE likes when people leave and reinvent themselves and get themselves over. It's like McIntyre. McIntyre.
Yeah, he's the one who's up there with Bianca.
Left in a state.
Now legitimate. He's a main eventer.
Yeah, he left in a state. And he left, sorted himself out, got himself in great shape, got himself improved in the ring, you know, had all these great experiences, came back and went, I am ready to lead this company. And that's exactly what Cody's going to do. He's going to come back and he's going to say, I am ready to lead this company. Put the title on me and I'll do all the media, I'll do the work. And that's what WWE wants. WWE wants to see people be bigger than just being a great wrestler.
And this is why, say, someone like The Miz has done as well as he has done.
Because he does the work.
Literally puts all the hours in, does all the media, does all the stuff, lives the character of being The Miz. While
when WWE was expanding to China, Cena learnt Mandarin so he could go to China, like from speaking no Mandarin. He learnt Mandarin fluently so he could go to China and do a press conference for WWE. That's what WWE wants. Someone who's committed and someone who, like, he literally did a whole 30-minute press conference in fluent Mandarin. That's what the company doesn't need wrestlers. It's got wrestlers coming out of its ears. It has.
It wants people.
It wants people.
That'll work
it
wants asses off
humans. It wants people who will connect with other people. And that's the big part of being in a company that size. WWE's bigger than being a wrestling company.
Yeah.
It's a company that is a worldwide company. You know, it has those people. Like opening the friggin' stock market whenever they're in New York or whatever, that sort of thing. That's not like a wrestling company thing. That's a worldwide huge company thing. Have you ever seen that video where the Wyatt family opened the stock market?
Oh, no.
They're all in character. Literally, I can't remember if it's the three of them or it's the four of them. It's literally it's Bray Wyatt, and then it's Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and they're all standing there, and they ring, the bell. They ring the bell for the stock market.
Yeah,
it's literally Bray holding a lamp, and they're ringing the bell for the stock market. It's ridiculous. I'll try and find it you after this. It is hilarious, but that's what WWE needs. It needs people, to be on an entirely different level, and that's what they're looking for from these people here. Everyone on this card, they are looking for them. Who's going to be our next person? Our next WrestleMania main eventer.
Yeah, they want they want the next Rock.
Yeah.
They want the next Cena.
They're
not interested in the next,
Yeah.
They're
not.
I think these champions who are a bit crap that we've had.
Not even champions who are a bit crap. What you think of a great wrestler who's never been a main eventer. What they don't want is a roster full of Tyson Kidds in the nicest way possible. They don't want a roster full of Cesaros in the nicest way possible, because they don't make enough money.
Yeah.
That's why. And it's sad to say, because I love Cesaro.
We all love Cesaro.
I love Cesaro to bits, but WWE doesn't need any more Cesaros. It needs The Rock's, Stone Cold Steve Austin's.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. And that's why everyone here...
Reigns.
It wants a Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That's what it wants.
He's now in that category.
Yeah.
He is. The amount of times he's main evented, he might have been pushed in that, but he's...
I think he's done the third most WrestleMania main events of all time.
How many more does he need to do?
I think Hogan's got 9. He's on 7 or 6 or 7. He might be like 2 or 3 off. He's not far off.
He'll pass Hogan.
I don't know. 3 years is a long time in wrestling. By that time, Reigns will, or God forbid, he could get poorly again.
Yeah, true.
And that's the thing. You have to think about that realistically. And that's, at the moment, WWE have put all their eggs in his basket, and there is, if he gets poorly again,
no one.
And that's one thing, that you just have to keep in the back of your mind. It is sad, and hopefully, he's fine. He goes on to have a very long, successful career and very happy life. But, you have to always be concerned about those things.
Yeah.
Is that thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
We're here at Hair. Whatever. We got people on the inside. Carmella, and she got that Victoria's Secret weapon.
Hair removal cream.
For that sweet boy, Sylvester Lifford.
Hey, Enzo, is that the same type of cream your mother uses on her back?
Yeah, your mother got a mustache like Ron Burgundy. Has a tough time drinking milk.
Yeah, your mom looks like a Sasquatch.
What's a Sasquatch? Stop talking about
like
my
Bigfoot.
mother. Oh, me, oh, my. Sweet potato pie. Carmella. Mwah. Let me smell you.
Always with the hair. Stop. That's
Oh,
how you
yeah,
do
how
it.
you doing?
Hello. Up here.
Sorry.
How old are you?
So in a rush, we need the creme.
The what?
The hair removal cream.
Hair removal.
Oh, yeah, I've been mixing that stuff up for you all morning. What do you need a whole bucket of it?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Fair enough.
All right, strut your stuff, girl.
Never saw Ramiro I didn't like.
Yeah, horseshoe like Seabiscuit.
Trap
Yeah. She's back.
Oh my god, you guys are so pathetic. Listen, be very careful with this. It is so strong, alright?
Carmella!
Who is
Can you take
this?
care of Fifi for me, please?
Sweet boy.
I'm going into the next room to get a wax.
Yeah, wax this idiot.
Something these two Neanderthals clearly know nothing about.
How you doing? Back up. You got that camera rolling?
Yeah, I got it.
It could have been one of those moments
I know, you
where
tell
the
him,
world
Enzo.
star beatdowns
Yeah, you
where
tell
you
him,
lose your
Enzo.
shoe.
Yeah, you tell him, Enzo.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Enzo, you should try some of that cream on your chest, see if it works.
Why don't you try it on your chest?
I don't have any chest hair.
Well, why don't you try it on your head?
Yeah, how about I just give me some of your chest?
No,
Give me the bucket!
Get out of here.
Give me the bucket! Give me the
Get out of
bucket!
here. Get out of here. Oh.
You freaking idiot!
Get the phone. Make sure it ain't broken. Carmella, calm down. I'm sorry, man. It ain't me.
We're sorry, Carmel. We didn't mean it.
What?
It's...
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Holy jeez, it works.
Yo, come on, listen, I love you. I'm sorry.
We gotta
you're
get
fired.
out of here.
We're gonna-
Wait.
Sorry,
Look at
Carmel.
these.
We're out of here. I'm sorry, Carmel.
So Adam, they go into this hair salon called Hair. Wonder where they got that name from.
Don't know.
They go into this hair salon and they're posing in the mirror, and they go into this room, and in the back room there is this woman.
Yes.
There is this woman with a really annoying accent.
Yeah.
And she is called Carmella.
Yeah.
Carmella, they go into hair, and the reason is Carmella has sourced them some hair. Well, it's like
Hair removal
cream, which apparently Enzo's mum uses on her back, according to Big Cass.
Yeah.
What did you think of this? Let me take in all of your thoughts.
If it was rugby league, it would be Leeds Carnegie.
Oh,
It was
it's carnage.
fucking unreal.
Thoughts on Carmella. Thoughts on adding her to the group. Thoughts on.
Is she going to be added into? Well, I'm guessing she's added into the group.
Yes, she will be an official member of the two of them. They turn into the three of them going forward.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's probably going to add a different aspect to their characters, having someone else join up with them who seems pretty similar to them because they're obviously from the New York area.
New York.
Yeah,
they're from Long Island, mate.
That's it, mate. It was just carnage. And then the whole messing about with the fucking bucket of hair removal cream and spilling it on a dog, and then just ripping chunks of this dog's hair out because it was really strong stuff. I didn't really know what was going on.
That's the reason she's added into the group, because I don't know if you hear or not, but Enzo goes, "Oh, really sorry we got you fired," because they know she's going to get fired. So actually what happens is she doesn't appear right away, but in a couple of weeks' time she starts appearing because she's like, "I'm fired, so what are you going to do to get me a job?" So she starts hanging around with them at NXT, and that's how she sort of comes into them and they become a group. And at this time, Cass and Carmella are a couple as well.
Ah, okay.
So
you can tell that with some of Cass's camera work.
Yes. He does take a peek at her chesticles, doesn't he?
He does.
But I thought this segment was really, really funny. And actually, these early segments with them in are very good. And they do evolve very quickly into a very good, cohesive group. And she does add a lot. Kid is out for action next against Adam Rose.
Dave's favourite.
Speaking of people I don't like, Rosebud watch this week. Nia Jax is front and centre. Rose actually begins quickly, and Kid has to kick out quickly from an early pin. Back elbow as there is another kick out. Kid rolls to the apron and hits a head kick before a running kick to the head and a neck breaker for a 2. Kid methodically begins to break down Rose, choking him with his boot in the corner. Firing up, Rose goes for the slice, but does get drop kicked to the knee instead. It's a vicious drop kick as well. Kid wipes the face to turn him over for the sharpshooter, and he quickly taps out. You can already see how much Adam Rose's stock has fallen since going to the main roster based on losing in 3 minutes, because this wouldn't have been a thing a month ago.
What, a main roster guy coming in and losing?
Adam Rose losing in Adam Rose losing in general, but Adam Rose losing in such a clean way. Like, they were having a 12-minute main event match a month ago, and now he's literally...
I feel like this part of this episode, though, that they just tried to shove so much stuff in. It's just so quick.
I will tell you, Adam Rose is dead in the water now.
Oh, yeah, of course he is now.
He's dead in the water. So, yeah.
Again, he gets the person who's going to be in the main event over. That's pretty much all this match does.
Yeah, that's what it's there for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what all these matches do.
The advantage to being a challenger in this sort of fatal four-way match is that you don't have to pin the champion. Now, I'll win. I'll pin anyone if the opportunity's there and it's a chance to win. But I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't be an extra little cherry on top to pin Neville. He's the champion. I don't want there to be any excuses. I don't want there to be any doubt. I want to beat the best man in the ring, and the best man in the ring is the champion. That just so happens to be Adrian Neville, my friend. But he's the guy I'd like to beat.
Very modest by Zayn.
Yeah,
nothing,
what was this?
Nothing too crazy.
He just wants to pin the champ. So there's no excuse.
Exactly. He just wants to be a proper champion.
I mean, that's what we all want for him.
Vaudevillain promos about the finals tonight. They want to prove that they are a cut above not just any team in NXT, but any team in WWE. English says that he is a physical specimen, and Gotch is a physical marvel. They will prove they are superior. Gotch's thoughts? Excelsior!
I do love these two. Especially when they say Excelsior. Gotch is legitimately a tough guy as well.
Oh, yeah.
They say that he's... English says he's the only one who can physically move mountains, and it's probably pretty spot on.
Well, I'm standing next to a mountain, and I chop it down with the edge of my hand. Name the song?
Couldn't name the song.
It's Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. But actually, Hogan used to come out to Voodoo Child, and he always used to go whoosh, and he used to chop his hands.
For God's sake.
When it says that.
Was that before the Real American?
No, he used to come out to Voodoo Child when he returned to WWE they returned in 2002 as the NWO, and then he faced The Rock at WrestleMania 18, and then after WrestleMania 18 went back to Red and Yellow Hogan, and then he started coming out to Voodoo Child. Then he didn't come out to Real American.
Oh, okay.
I think they bought it off Jimi Hendrix's estate, and they used it, but then I think the rights weren't all fucked up. But
this is what I'm a bit like. Obviously, like music rights are always a massive thing. And obviously, WWE like to do their own themes. How's it work with Cody's? Because Cody used that thing.
Cody owns it,
so it must have been part of his deal. Like, I'm gonna keep using my music. Because, yeah, that would have been a massive thing for him.
Yeah.
This is my music. You're not going to give me some shit theme, because as soon as you give me a shit theme and a shit Titantron, like, I'm not going to get over.
I'm the American Nightmare. Fight for the rights of my dead dad. That'd be,
But yeah, they would have done something as terrible as that.
They would have.
This is the WWE.
That's the company for you.
Yeah.
Zayn is out for his match this evening before Fatal 4-Way. Zayn is facing the huge Marcus Louis. What do you think of Mr. Louis in the ring? I believe this is also his debut klaxon.
He's good. He did what he needs to do. Again, another 4-minute match.
Do you reckon?
He did what he needed to do. You can't do it like a 4-minute match.
Now, do you want me to stun you to your very core?
Oh, God.
Now, earlier you said, what? He has
one of the worst French accents of fake French accents. He's actually French, isn't he?
He's actually French.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
he's actually French.
I just made the assumption that he wasn't, because this is the typical WWE thing. He's like...
No, he's actually French.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know, crazy, really. His name is Mikhail Vierge. And he's a French professional wrestler, best known for his appearances in NXT under the ring name Marcus Louis, and with Impact Wrestling under the ring name Baron Dax. Vierge was trained by Darren Burridge. He debuted on December the 17th, 2005 for Irish Whip Wrestling, working as Pierre Marceau. With a background in kickboxing, he formerly wrestled as the French Paradox Pierre Marceau. The earliest documented instance of Marceau's involvement in professional wrestling was when he accompanied the Snake Man, Vic Viper, to a match for Irish Whip Wrestling on the 17th of December 2005. In 2006, he continued to wrestle in Irish Whip Wrestling, as well as in the ACWA. While in IWW, Marceau wrestled at the Combined Clubs in Balbriggan, Ireland, along with future WWE wrestlers Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
Ooh.
He was documented to have been with the WWE since September 2013. WWE describes him as having played rugby, been in the French military riot police, and worked in a psychiatric prison. As Marcus Louis, he made his TV debut on the 12th of February 2014, tagging with Jason Jordan in a loss to Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. So it wasn't his debut klaxon, but it was in this particular way.
This guise.
In May, the Legionnaires were formed. There we go. So... yeah, basically, it was quite funny. He ended up going to TNA after this, and when he went to TNA, he also went with Sylvester Lefort.
Oh, amazing.
Thomas LaRuffa, as he was known. But yeah, unbelievably, there you go. He competed in a battle royale, which was won by Eli Drake in TNA. Eli Drake, otherwise known as...
I don't know.
Let me talk to ya, LA Knight.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, interesting. I mean, you quite liked him. It was slow, and the Koji clutch ends it with a quick tap out. The action was fine. After the match, though, this is where the real gold starts. Enzo and Cass attack Lefort and hold him hostage, showing him the cream, but he manages to scarper away before the hair versus hair match.
Well, the obvious disadvantage with the Fatal 4-Way is that I don't have to be pinned to lose my championship. And that's a fact. And it's a risk. It is a risk, but I chose this match, and I chose it for a reason. If you haven't noticed, I like to take risks. And all three of these guys I've beaten individually. Now all I've got to do is beat them at the same time. And come September the 11th, it's a challenge that I'm more than ready for, and it's certainly a challenge that I look forward to.
The talking is now done. Neville is up against Parker in the final hurdle before Takeover.
Amazingly, there's some decent signage for Parker. It's probably the most over he's been.
His character is a good character. They just don't really give him a chance to do much.
No, they just need to give him a little bit more at this point.
Yeah. It is what it is, though, isn't it? Parker and Neville begin their match, and it's another short 4-minute match to warm up Neville before next week. Beautiful jumping sidekick by Parker, though, straight out the top drawer of the Hitmonlee Pokemon.
Yeah.
Series of spin kicks and a low drop kick as Neville takes control, and they speak about him headlining every NXT special main event player. Uppercuts into the corner, middle rope missile drop kick, and the red arrow for a 3. The champ means business. Who's your pick for Fatal 4-Way?
I think I know who wins it anyway, so I'm not going to say. So I'll leave it. I can't pick. They've all got legitimate reasons to be champions.
Now, next up, Adam, we have got the Lucha Dragons facing the Vaudevillains for a shot at the Ascension at TakeOver. Both of these teams have been on fire. Who do you think was the favourite coming into this?
I would have said probably Kalisto and Sin Cara.
Early on, Kalisto outpaces English, who tries to keep on top of him. Kalisto hits a beautiful top rope spinning arm drag before Cara is in, and they hit a nice double team move before Gotch manages to tag in, and he can't get going before eventually sending Sin Cara off the top rope to the outside. English comes back with a neck breaker before a front face lock, but Sin Cara makes it back up to a vertical base and gets put in the Tree of Woe. English goes shoulder first into the post as he hits a crossbody, and both men are down as the crowd claps them back up. Spinning crossbody as Gotch and Kalisto are in, followed by a spiked Hurricane Rana into the mat. Cara takes out English on the outside as Kalisto goes for a Salita del Sol, tags in Sin Cara, and before hitting a cannonball dive to take out Gotch, and Sin Cara hits a senton bomb from what must be said quite a distance away for a 3 and new number 1 contenders. So we are set up for TakeOver as the Ascension come out to stare down the Lucha Dragons. They've beaten everybody in their path, but can the Lucha Dragons overcome the massive odds at TakeOver?
They've got the best chance of anyone they've faced so far, I have to say.
They have. Now, Adam, who is your star of the show here?
Have you got one already? Because I haven't.
I think star of the show is a bit of a tricky one, really.
They've had loads of people involved in these two shows.
They have had loads of people involved in these two shows. You're absolutely right. I think it's got to go to Carmella. I think she was really entertaining in that, and I think actually it made me want to see more of Cass and Enzo with her involved. So I'm going to go for Carmella.
I am going to go Bayley.
Yeah,
again,
a good shout.
You know, again,
one for the women this week.
Exactly, Women's Week this week. Great, you know, she's great in the ring as usual. Great promo afterwards. What more can you have? What more can you want?
Agreed. And on the subject of Ladies' Night, I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of Phoenix Nights where they have the Ladies' Night.
Oh no.
Have you ever seen it?
This is going to be terrible. I've not seen any of Phoenix Nights, to be fair.
What?
I haven't watched Phoenix Nights. It's one of those ones I've been meaning to watch.
And it's really Bolton. Paddy McGuinness. Paddy they're outside and they're like, they're talking. They're like, Ladies' Night tonight, Ladies' Night tonight. And what's it? Bloody Peter Kay's character's like, Patrick, you don't want to go in there. It's a women's night. And he's like, you're joking? Whips, chains, dildos, everywhere, man. It's just really funny.
I imagine that's not what was probably in the club.
Bottle full of, but it was actually. It's a ladies' night, mate. That's what they're all like, apparently. So, you can find us on social media. Facebook.com/NXTBTTF. At NXTBTTF on Twitter. You can find all of our wonderful links to listen to us and to watch the funny things that we do on our link tree, which is in our bio on our Twitter account. Leave us a review. That would be great if you could do so. Tweet us, interact with us, send us a message. We'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on the podcast. You can join us next time for the NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way event, featuring the Lucha Dragons challenging the all-conquering Ascension. CJ Parker takes on a repackaged Lone Wolf in Baron Corbin. Sylvester Lafort and Enzo Amore put their hair on the line in a grudge battle. William Regal welcomes international superstar Kenta to the brand in a game-changing move. Bull Dempsey faces Mojo Rawley. Bayley challenges Charlotte for the NXT Women's title, and Adrian Neville defends the NXT title against 3 of NXT's best in a colossal fatal 4-way, where he tries to survive the challenge of Tyler Breeze, Sami Zayn and Tyson Kidd. All that and so much more, but now, from me Dave,
and me Adam,
we are out of here. Enjoy your Easter Sunday. Well, you've already enjoyed it at this point, but enjoy the rest of your Easter week, and if you've had a bank holiday day off, hope it was a ripper. Bye.